my dear learners, for this course on engineering graphics. In module 3, we were discussing about orthographic projection of solids. In our previous lecture, that is in our lecture 1, I discussed the prerequisites to solve problems on orthographic projection of solids. In our lecture 2, in this lecture, I am going to solve our problem number 1. The problem number 1 states that a square prism 35 mm side of base and 65 mm axis length rests on HP. On one of its edges of the base, which is inclined to VP at 30 degree, draw the projection of the prism when the axis is inclined to HP at 45 degree. If you clearly observe the problem, the solid is resting on HP. So therefore, in the first position, I should make the solid stand on HP. So the position 1, the solid will be standing on HP. Next, since in the first position it is standing on HP, I should show the inclination with respect to HP in the second position. The prism's axis is inclined to HP at 45 degree. So therefore, in the second position I should show axis. Next, the remaining is the third position. In the third position, I should show the inclination with respect to VP. So therefore, the problem states that the edge of the base in which it is resting is inclined to VP at 30 degree. So therefore, the resting edge is inclined to VP at 30 degree. So this is the given problem. Let us solve it. In the first position, I should make the square prism stand on horizontal plane. If I make the square prism stand on the horizontal plane, in the top view I can see the square, in the front view I can see the height of the prism. This is vertical plane and this is horizontal plane. To solve the problems in orthographic projection of solids, let us use right hand convention. What I mean to say is that if it rests with corner, I will draw such a way that the corner comes towards right side in the first position. If it rests on its edge, I will draw such a way that edge comes towards right in the first position. So this problem states that the square prism of side 35 mm base and 65 mm axis length rests on HP on one of its edges. So therefore, I should draw the top view of the prism such a way that the edge comes towards right hand side. So if I draw the edge comes towards right hand side, I will get the edge on both sides since it is a square. The base edge is of 35 mm. So now if I saw the prism in its standing on HP in its top view, I can see the top face but the bottom face is invisible. Let us use prefix 1 for bottom face and no prefixes for top face. So if I see from top, I can see the top face whereas the bottom face is invisible. So therefore, top face A is visible, in the bottom face A1 is invisible. Similarly, B is visible, B1 is invisible. C is visible, C1 is invisible. D is visible and D1 is invisible. Now mark the center so that you can easily mark the axis. Let us mark the axis as O and O1. Now take the projection. The height of this prism is given as 65 mm. So mark 65 mm height. So this completes the front view of the prism whose height is given as 65 mm. So mark the face. So if I see in its front view, so observer will be here in the front view. So this is the observer position in the front view. So if I view from here, I can see both BB1 and CC1, whereas AA1 and DD1 are invisible. So therefore in the base I can see B1, I can't see A1. In the apex I can see B, I can't see A. Similarly, in the right hand side I can see C1 and C, whereas D1 and D are invisible. So therefore, if I mark the visible and invisible edges in the base, I can see B1, I cannot see A1. So therefore, B1 is visible, A1 is invisible. This side, I can see C1, I can't see D1. So in the base, C1 is visible and D1 is invisible. Coming for the apex, B is visible, A is invisible. B is visible, A is invisible. In the apex, C is visible, D is invisible. C is visible and D is invisible. Apexes are marked without suffix 1, whereas base are marked with suffix 1. And the axis marked discontinued line with dots in between. Let us mark top as O and bottom as O1. So this is the first position of the square prism resting on HP. We make it stand on HP without inclining to any planes. In the second position I should make axis inclined to HP at 45 degree. So mark the axis and incline the axis to an angle of 45 degree to HP. This is because in the first position it is standing on HP. The height, so the height of the axis is 65. And the side is measuring 35. So if you observe, in order to incline the axis and these two longer edges are parallel to each other. So therefore, instead of inclining the axis, I can incline these edges. If edge makes 45 degree, obviously axis will make 45 degree, and it is clear that it is resting on its edge. So since both the sides I have edge, either I can rotate counterclockwise or I can rotate counterclockwise. Now let us mark the base as C1, D1, which is inclined at an angle of 45 degree. Marking 45 degree, I will get the edge length is 65 and axis length is also 65. Longer edge length is also 65, axis length is also 65. So draw the inclination of the edge. So the edge, the longer edge is C1C or D1D. At the base we have C1 D1 is invisible, and at the apex we have C and D. Now draw the perpendicular line to this longer edge on either corners whose length is 35 mm. Now join and mark the edges. This is B1 and A1 is invisible. This is B and A is invisible. And also mark the axis. So marking 35 by 2 on both top and bottom, I can join to mark the axis. Now if I measure the inclination of the axis, it is same as the inclination of this longer edge, that is 45 degree. So condition 2 is satisfied. Now in the second position, take the projection and employ the conditions what I specified to mark the invisible edges. So take the projection and also take the projection horizontally. Now just mark the corners, don't mark the edges until we identify the invisible edges. So at the base we have the corners as center is O1, and at the bottom I have B1, and here I will get D1. At the top face correspondingly I will get A, at bottom it is B, here it is D, and I will get C. So now in the top view the observer will be here. So this is the observer in the top view. So if I look at from the top, the farthest corner to the observer is C1, D1. All the edges emerging from C1, D1 will be invisible except they lies on the boundary of the solid. So therefore, the lines emerging from C1, D1 are A1 to C1 and D1 to A1, C1 to C, D1 to D. So correspondingly, if I mark C1 to C is the boundary of the solid, so it cannot be invisible. D1 to D is also boundary of the solid, it cannot be invisible. So only invisible I will get is C1, D1, which comes inside the solid. So therefore, if I mark, I will get C1, D1 as invisible. So mark the invisible edges with dashed lines and mark all the edges. So first you join the bottom and top faces. So this is the bottom face and this is the top face. And correspondingly you join the bottom and top face. A1 to A, D1 to D, B1 to B and C1 to C, and the axis is marked with dashed lines with dots in between. So this completes the top view in the second position. So now finally I should pick this and rotate such a way that the resting edge is inclined to VP at an angle of 30 degree. So therefore, first let us draw a line inclined at an angle of 30 degree. If we draw a line at an angle of 30 degree, the diagram will enter the vertical plane. So therefore, take a parallel line and offset it mark 30 degree. Now it is resting on the edge C1 D1 because this is the base. So you can see here it is resting on the edge C1 D1. Therefore mark C1 D1. So C1 D1 measures 35 mm. So draw a 35 mm line. And now you measure the lengths in both bottom and top and transfer it on either corners of this edge. Marking which and transferring I will get so now marking which I will get mark the axis properly. So the axis as O and O1. I repeat, how to plot the invisible edge. Looking from the top, identify the farthest corner. The farthest corner are C1, D1. All the edges emerging from C1 and D1 are invisible except it is on boundary. If I see B1, C1, B1, C1 is boundary, so it cannot be invisible. C1 to D1, C1 to D1 is not on boundary, mark it as an invisible. Next D1 to A1, so D1 to A1 is on boundary, it cannot be invisible. Next C1 to C, C1 to C is also in boundary, it cannot be invisible. And D1 to D, D1 to D is also on boundary, it cannot be invisible. Take the projections from both horizontal and vertical. I'll get, instead of taking lines, all the lines and making confusion, first you take lines from the bottom face, mark it, then take lines from the top face, then you mark it. A1, B1, C1 and D1, and correspondingly you get the axis as O1. So this is O1. So this completes the bottom face marking. Now take the vertical lines from the top face. The marking which I'll get, this is C and I have D. Similarly, this will be A and this will be B. So erase the unwanted lines. So this completes the projection. So this completes the projection from horizontal and vertical. So now identify the farthest corner to the observer. So the observer will be here. So in the front view the observer will be here. So from the bottom the farthest corner is D. All the edges emerging from D are invisible. So from D we have a line to A and from C we have a line to D. So therefore DA and DC are invisible. So draw the line DA and D to C, and also D to D1, that is the longer edge joining D to D1, the longer edge joining D to D1, D1 to D. Now mark the bottom face A1, D1, B1, C1. Also the top face A, B, C, D, whereas B and C, D and A is already marked, which is invisible. And now join the top and bottom faces A to A1, B to B1 and C to C1. Also mark the axis. This will be OO1. So this completes the given problem in which the square prism is inclined to HP and VP and it is resting on HP with one of its base edge, and it is resting on the base edge C1 D1, which can be seen here, C1 D1. So once again I repeat how I have marked the invisible edge. So in the front view So observer will be here in the front view. The farthest corner is D. So all the edges emerging from D are invisible. So therefore the edges emerging from D are D to C and D to A and D to D1. So D to D1, D to C and D to A are invisible. This angle is 30 degree. And also if you observe, I used color coding to solve this problem. The blue colors which I used states that the dimensions are same. Only I have picked and placed and rotated and inclined. Here also I use the same colors, which means that this and this are dimensionally same. Only I have picked it, copy, paste and rotate. That's what I have did. So therefore these two are similar in dimensions and these two are same in dimensions. And also finally, if you observe, the second condition which I explained to mark the invisible edge is that common line cannot cross over. So if you observe, so DC and BB are crossing over, whereas one is invisible and other one is visible. Coming over here, we have A1 B1 crossing over D1 D1. So here also I am getting one invisible line and one visible line, and nowhere you are getting two common lines crossing over. So that verifies the invisibility what I marked is correct, and this completes our problem number 1.